Welcome to the road to Acapulco. There's a new idea in town, an idea that's been heralded by Bob Podolsky for 32 years. It's an idea that will change the world, and it's beginning to take shape in Acapulco.
Welcome to the road to Acapulco. This is edition 14. And today, it's the day after Anarchapulco. And once again, I've got Bob Podolsky here. This is Michael Nimetz.
Hey.
And today we're going to talk about something that, a review, I guess, of Anarchapulco, and in particular some of the better things that we felt came out of it. And so, I don't know, Bob, I guess I'll just start with you. What were your impressions of Anarchapulco?
I loved it. It had its drawbacks. There were some stumbling on the part of the organizers, but overall it was superb. It was a wonderful production. Lots of wonderful people came. And some of them actually learned something, as opposed to simply jumping up and down with excitement. I was really glad to see that.
Yeah, I certainly can't complain. I mean, yeah, there are some things that I think we need to work on, and we're going to try and fix for next year. But certainly there was some wonderful people there that really made the experience worthwhile. Mm-hmm. I myself, my top 3 experiences, certainly, the party that we give here, being able to connect with all the people at a personal level. I must have had 25, 30 great conversations throughout the evening with people that I really have a great deal of respect for. And, the feeling came back as mutual. Everybody that was at the party was, shaking my hand at the end saying, this was a wonderful party, thank you so much. But a very close second for me was probably your soul bonding class. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I felt like, we got to see your real superpower.
Superpower. Where's my cape? Where's my cape?
I think I understand. I thought I understood, that the soul bonding was a very powerful thing. But, going through your workshop and actually seeing it in action, and really just a sliver of the potential, I think. But it certainly was a moving experience, I think, for everybody who was there. The comments, talking to the people, everybody was just blown away. We also have a special guest. Did you want to jump in on what your feelings were?
Yeah, I'd have to say the soul bonding workshop was my most important thing out of the whole Anarchapulco. It was the deepest, closest. I've never been in a workshop that I felt like hugging people at the end of it. Like I felt connected to the people, and that is a big deal. If everyone could be connected with each other, wow, we could get a lot of things done.
So I think this is, at least for me, I think it's the initiation of something. We've got to be able to tell people about this. Mm-hmm. So I would say I would encourage Bob that we really need to get you a book that kind of describes what this is, because I really think that this is the secret.
Yeah, I think
the real secret to the
secret sauce. The secret sauce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because when people understand that they can connect and help each other and solve some of their really deep problems that they have, like a father versus their children, or a parent versus their children, or siblings having issues, families having issues.
All the
These are
above.
all problems that all kinds, everybody is experiencing. It's kind of something that's not on the surface, but it's something that really is afflicting a lot of people.
True.
And, you know, resolving those kind of issues, or at least coming to some kind of conclusion about what to do next to take care of these issues, could really allow a lot of people to, you know, take those burdens away and let them move towards something more positive.
Cool. Something I should jump in and say is that the soul bonding workshop is just the introduction to this subject matter. And for those who are interested in becoming healers, you might call us, or growth consultants, this is an ongoing opportunity to have training groups that actually teach people how to do these things. This is not simply a therapy group. This is a place where people learn to be one another's therapists. You know, husband and wife, friend and friend. We can heal each other when we know how, and this is a structured, experiential means of learning how. So I want to invite everyone who wants to live in a peaceful, prosperous, free world. Check this out. This is a technology that's been around, but the pieces of it go way back, but it wasn't until the 90s that I really put it together in terms of 6 separate disciplines interwoven. And for those who are not familiar with it, that includes cognitive therapy, Gestalt therapy, strategic therapy, bioenergetic therapy, neuro-linguistic programming, and Ericksonian hypnosis. And when you weave those together into one educational, not clinical, process, you wind up with something that anyone and everyone can benefit from. And anyone can learn to do it. You don't have to go to school, you don't need degrees, you don't need certificates. All you need is a desire to help the people around you.
Yeah, well, I think if people understood what this means, you know, I think, Bob, you'd have people beating down the door.
Yeah.
Because this is
Very
some
powerful.
really helpful stuff.
Well, I thank you for saying that. It's very gratifying to have my work appreciated. I have to confess, I would love to see the marketing of this happen so that thousands of people could take advantage of it. And I've begun, at least I have discussed it with a couple of people who seem to want to be on board to make that happen. But we're a long way yet from doing it, because my marketing, while it's something I know something about, it's not my strongest suit. And there are people around who know a lot more about it than I do, with whom I'd like to partner. So if you're out there, you process marketers, by golly, this is an opportunity.
Well, honestly, I think the simplest way that we could do this is you know, we hold your workshops prior to Anarchapulco next year. And if people that go experience it, you'll probably have 1 or 2 classes afterwards that just pop up because the demand is there.
Cool.
Oh, that's a
So
good idea.
I'm curious to know from both of you, in the course of the workshop, without naming any names, of course, what specific thing was it that most made you say, wow? Because I saw that happen with both of you. But what was it specifically that you found moving?
I have to say a lot of things made me say wow, but most of all, oh man, there were 2 things for me. I can't say
2
one.
things?
Yeah. When you made someone who couldn't express themselves. That was a big deal because I could see in the person that it was very, very hard for them.
Right.
So, and your technique, the way that you did it, you said it was almost like you were probing them.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see you probing them. And at the end, the person was able to express themselves so clearly. And it was so quick. You got it done so fast. That was amazing.
Uh-huh.
And also the hypnosis. That was mind-blowing.
We did a couple of examples of that.
Yeah.
Was one of them more mind-catching than the other?
The one that you did was the unexpected one.
Oh, that unexpected.
With the hand.
Yeah. Okay, that was Erickson's handshake induction. It's called. It's helping someone go into trance by shaking their hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really strong because it wasn't planned. Like,
no, it was spontaneous.
I don't think he didn't expect that.
He didn't know what was coming.
And it was like he was frozen, and we were like, "What the?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that blew my mind. That really.
It's just part of my arsenal. You know, I have hundreds or maybe even more ways of helping people to move through their awareness, and that was just one of them. And actually, it's only the second time I've ever done that one.
What?
I told you about the first time with Past Eddie,
yeah,
and this where I did that with a schizophrenic. We're referring, those of you who aren't sitting here, we are referring to hypnotic therapy that it can be done with people who resist therapy. Now, they may present themselves as wanting hypnosis, but they may or may not simply want you to help them. They may also want to defeat you as part of their agenda. And I've had the experience with a schizophrenic, incidentally, of doing successful hypnotherapy with someone who was really, really powerfully resisting. So I just let him beat me, and then there was nothing left to resist, and I got some work done with him. But yeah, I'm glad you got to see that.
Yeah.
The other example, of course, was a volunteer who went into trance with almost no prompting at all.
Oh, yeah.
I called it my minimal cue method, and what you saw what happened. He sits there, and I explained to the group what's going to happen, and then I just looked at him expectantly, and he went into a trance. I also went into a trance too. We were in rapport, so as I went into trance, he just followed along.
Honestly, I feel like I kind of went into trance.
You did. Almost everyone in the room did.
Okay. Yeah. When you did that, I felt just like really like centered. Like,
I actually set that up intentionally.
Okay. Wow.
Well, in regard to what I thought was the most powerful thing, obviously those things do stick in my mind, but I also thought that, you had one student that was expressed dissatisfaction, and I spoke to him, and I thought afterwards he was absolutely satisfied.
Yeah.
I really thought everything came together. On
Right.
the second
Yeah,
part
Bob
of
says that he paints it like a mosaic picture, so the pieces will come together at the end. And I like that teaching style because it's like even right now I'm still putting pieces together, and it's just so amazing.
That process continues.
Yeah. Ongoing learning.
Well, what I wanted to say though about that was I spoke to him afterwards, and he was saying, I was saying, he went to both of your classes, the Octolog class and the soul bonding class, and he said that his feeling coming out of the Octolog was that he felt like the most important message was the feedback. The emphasis on feedback, And so then what he was doing, when you asked, what your impressions were and stuff, he was practicing
The feedback.
the feedback.
And that's how I heard it.
Right.
What did you think of the way I responded to him when he did that?
Well, I think it was appropriate, but
For
I
me,
think-
the important part for me was I accepted the feedback.
yeah.
I didn't fight it. I didn't argue with it. I didn't try to change his mind. I simply accepted it. That gave me enough credibility to go on and reconnect with him later on in the day. And he got all turned around in terms of becoming very satisfied instead of just being dissatisfied.
And this
Yeah, I think
this guy, he has done multiple workshops around
Yeah.
from psychotherapy, psychology. He's done it around Europe, around the world.
Yeah,
So
done a lot.
yeah, it says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was that for me was a great moment. There was a lot of different things where you were just working with people, demonstrating the various techniques. I think you did a pretty good job of at least giving a taste of all these different therapies and how they.
I hit all but one of them.
Yeah, so I think people understood each one of them. You gave them enough information to, okay, now this makes sense. So I thought that was all great. To round out, I guess I was going to go back to our impressions of Anarchapulco. The third thing that I thought was great, and it's kind of along the lines of the title of our show, The Road to Acapulco. We've got a lot of people on the road to Acapulco.
Yeah.
We had a meeting a few days ago, and there were 40 people that showed up, approximately 40 people, that want to stay in Acapulco.
Wow.
So I think we've got a huge group of people now
I got a pull to work
with.
Oh, wonderful.
And now that we know soul bonding is such a key element, I think we can actually get these people working together at a level that I don't even think they're prepared to understand or believe. We're going to really rock this place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's great. Here comes another visitor.
So with that said, do we want to go ahead and conclude our?
Yeah, I'm really happy about the turnout, the results, the reactions that people have had. I'm really glad that you have come to see the soul bonding the way you do now, and you see how important it can be. I'm the one who added that to the technology. John David didn't know anything about that, and I suggested to him we should do that, but he wasn't ready for it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, walking away, it's the most amazing thing. I think certainly it's got to be a centerpiece of next year's Anarchapulco.
Fantastic.
I think if we can get a workshop ahead of Anarchapulco, I think it's going to be certainly going to be the buzz.
Yeah.
But we can certainly do that.
So with that said, we'll sign off for this episode of The Road to Acapulco. Thank you, everyone, and check out, we've got a couple websites, holomat.org, titanians.org, and Bob, you want to throw anything else
I'm
out?
just happy that we're doing this. I invite inquiries. Anyone who wants information, you can get hold of me by email at borisair, that's BORISHEIR, borisair@yahoo.com, or you can call me. I take phone calls, 561-542-5800. That's my phone number. You can call me and make whatever inquiries you like. So thank you for listening, and hit the road to Acapulco.